All right, well, let's talk about you.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's start it off. Hey, Jools,
Yes.
thanks for coming in today
Thank you for having me.
to be part of Graphic Novels. Hey, the first time I met you ever was at a Jericho Road launch. My daughter had done a dress with daisies on it, and I think I was one of the only dudes. I may have been
I
the
think
only
you might
guy
have.
there.
You maybe won.
And they launched the swimwear, and I had a hat on, and you came out and lap danced me.
I did. Yep, with my wife in the audience. Yep. Yeah, I think in times of when I'm embarrassed, or not embarrassed, but when I'm nervous,
Yeah.
I do really silly things.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you came up at the end and afterwards, and you apologised. You didn't have to. Like it was,
I had clothes on.
I kind of,
I had clothes
it's
on.
true. I got the spirit of it, which was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, also, I've done a little bit of research on, not a lot, but you are Brisbane's Queen of Colour.
Yes, I think so.
Tell us about that.
Wow. Yeah, look, I left school at the end of year 10 and had no, I wasn't an academic person. I was creative, and mum and dad knew that, and I went straight into hairdressing college. And when I was doing this, I was terrified of colour because I'm not great at multiplication, and you have to do these things. You need a bit of a maths head to mix colour. I wasn't great with science, so you need a bit of that, and chemistry. I was shocking at these three things. So, when I was in these classes at school, I was just, you see that meme where that lady's like this, and it's just all these multiplication things. That's
Yeah, I
me.
know the one. Yep.
Yeah. When I was at college, and I never wanted to be a colorist. I just wanted to style and cut hair. I finished college. I was actually telling this story a couple of days ago because I was remembering how I got into it, and each salon that I went to back in the 90s, you had to make money. And so depending on the salon you went to, one salon I'd be a first year apprentice and I would literally just shampoo and blow dry hair. The next salon I had to do foils and colour, and it actually just pushed me, forced me into doing colour. And I think from then I started entering colour competitions, and I started winning these competitions, and I was like, oh, maybe I should colour hair. And then I just started actually liking it, and it took me places. So I think now, I think I am the colour queen of Brisbane, if you'd say that, but a lot of people call me a magician. That's not true. I do some cool things with hair, but I'm not a magician. But I think, colour is so important to me as a hairdresser because it changes the way people look and and how they feel. Sure. So that's been my focus for years now.
It's kind of the golden age of colour at the moment because it's gone like crazy bold, right? Like blues and greens and pinks. Like, what do you think you could do?
Do you know, I have to say, I used to do a lot of weddings. And when the bride's dad would come in, every one of them was bald.
Right.
Apart from maybe two. And I've done hundreds of weddings. Yeah. And they would take their hat off and say exactly the same thing. They'd be like, what can you do with my hair? Every single time. And when people know that I'm a colorist, they're like, what can you do with this? So, I don't know, I can give you a wig. If you...
No, that'd be hot.
Yes.
That'd be really hot.
Yes.
I like my hassle-free haircut, to be honest.
Look, if I could rock a shaved head, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
But I do not have the jaw for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, well, look, it's wonderful to know that you are a wizard with colour.
Yes.
But we're actually here to talk about tattoos today. And so I just want to start off by asking why tattoos?
Yeah.
What was the motivation? Why did you just go, I'm going to do that?
Okay, so I was thinking about my first tattoo, and I literally couldn't remember my first tattoo until last night. And it's in a place that I can't even see anymore. So it's like a kanji symbol, which I don't even remember what it meant at the time. But I got it in a really good part of my life. I was 18 or 17, I think, and I went with a friend. And I think after that, I just started collecting them. For me, it started when I was traveling. So I was traveling a little bit, the early 2000s. And then when I went to San Fran in 2006 or 2007, I went into this store, and I don't know if you've ever been to San Fran, but it's
Yeah, I have, yeah.
pretty damn cool,
Yep.
parts of it.
Yeah.
And I went into the store, and every woman that worked there were covered in tattoos, and I'd never seen that before.
Right.
Brisbane, I hadn't surrounded myself with people that were tattooed. At that point, Brisbane women weren't tattooed.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I asked this woman where she got tattooed, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go get one while I'm here. And so I remember walking there one day, I booked in, and I went back the next day and got one. And I think from that point, I was like, well, if they can work in really cool stores,
Yeah.
and they're really confident women, and they have jobs, it's not a job stopper,
Yeah.
I'm going to go get tattooed. And then, yeah, I came back to Brisbane, and mates of mine were starting to get tattoos. We started collecting. And then each time I'd travel, that's when I started getting tattooed.
Right.
Yeah.
So just from seeing someone
Yeah.
and going, it's possible.
Yeah, 100%. And I think because they were women, and they were beautiful women,
Yeah.
I think when I was growing up, I'd look at tattoos and just think, you're a bikie's wife.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, you're rough.
Yep.
You know? And I swear some people still look at me like that in a different generation.
Sure.
And that's fine. But I think when I was younger, I was like, I never thought of tattoos, ever.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd see my uncle with like this blue ink,
Yep.
like an old naval sort of, they're horrible. But then, yeah, I started becoming friends with tattooists, and I love the artwork behind it.
Yep.
So yeah, I just started collecting.
Yeah, look, and I think that's part of the motivation of this series is like, because I'm significantly older than you. And, I'm guessing I am. And that generational thing of, judgment of people with tattoos, and I've said this before, bikies,
Yep.
cons,
Yep.
military men.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And so in the era when I grew up, tattoos were taboo.
Yeah.
Unless you were in that group.
Yeah.
And you kind of had the same kind of thought. And then it's interesting, that whole, you went into a store, you saw it, because there's a big push at the moment, if I can see it, I can be it.
Yeah.
That female sport thing, and we've seen this explosion in women's sport at the moment because, the Matildas and the NRLW, the AFLW, the Women's A-League, et cetera, and people are like, well, yeah, I can be that.
100%.
Which is really interesting because, I think it's a brave choice. It was a brave choice for you because that would have been a different generational thing. What was the response like when you got home?
Oh, mum and dad were like, cool, okay. And that was it. You know, I don't, my parents are not strict at all. So I think their question was, when's the next one?
Right.
And then I just started collecting. I never really got a reaction of like,
Yeah.
I never had that. But I also had jobs, like I was a full-time dancer at that point.
Yeah, okay.
So I could work anywhere. I wasn't going on cruise ships and being in Moulin Rouge, I wasn't a chorus dancer. I wasn't, I was a hip hop dancer. So I could literally wear and do anything and still have a job.
Kind of came with the turf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I worked in a skate shop. So yeah, it wasn't taboo.
Okay.
And I started sort of collecting, and yeah, I never felt judgment whatsoever. Yeah.
So where'd you go from there? Like you said you've got a little one,
Yeah.
and that was the start.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it became a bit addictive.
Yeah.
And so where'd you go from there?
So I started with my wrists actually, and I think the rules have changed, and I think it depends what tattoo shop you go to. But I got my neck done before I got a lot of other big pieces, and I always forget that I have things on my neck, and I was going to get like all of this done, and I remember being on the Gold Coast one day, and sometimes I just feel like getting tattooed. It doesn't tickle, it doesn't feel great, but sometimes I need that. And so I was at the Gold Coast, and I went into this tattoo shop, and I knew they were really good, and I said, this is what I want on my neck. And he looks at me and he's like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I was like, well, thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool, because I probably now would regret having a huge,
Yeah.
But yeah, I started getting my wrists done. I got all those done, and then I have a big piece on my thigh, and that's Mimsy tattoo from Trailer Trash. Yeah. It's pretty big. And then I got my hips done, and they're really cool birds like that.
The swallows,
The swallows, and they're big. Then I've got a huge piece on my ribs. and I just started collecting things that were not on my extremities, really, that you could. I wasn't ready to get a full sleeve. And then I had my daughter, and this actually here is a picture from a snow globe, like the wind-up ones, that one of my friends gave me when Vaya was born. And there was one night where she just wouldn't settle, and I put it on and she fell asleep. And it was just one of those things that just always, you know, she always fell asleep to this thing. So I had that tattooed on me.
So it's like a dancing horse?
It's a,
It's from the, from the carousel?
Yeah.
Cool. And that's Mum?
That's Mum, that's me.
Yeah.
At the time, I loved cupcakes.
Right. Who doesn't?
I mean, I don't know why I got cupcakes, but I did. And my friend drew the sleeve, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want. And this is all just one piece. And I had the locket because I've always loved like lock and key.
Yeah.
And then this is a box of chocolates with my daughter's name on it because it's like Forrest Gump.
You never know what you're going to
get.
Yeah.
And then roses. So, and I, it's actually not finished.
Right, okay.
And it's 14 years old,
okay.
so.
So will you get it finished?
Probably. I'm in no hurry.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is old
So
now.
tell us about this one. Be a prick. Don't be a prick.
Don't be a prick.
Be a prick. Don't be a prick. Let's get that right.
Well, I love cacti, and I love my parents used to own a Mexican restaurant in Coolangatta when I was really young. So the Mexican vibe runs through me, and I just love the pun. Don't be a prick because they're prickly.
Yeah.
But I do need to get that finished.
You're going to get that colour right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It's nice. And you got this Bambi.
Yeah, it's
And
look.
it says something.
Oh,
my
this
friends.
is my family, my friends. This is one of my first.
My family, my friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just a picture on a postcard that I saw.
Okay.
And there's a few things that I really, really loved, and an anchor. This I actually wrote about. So Po, when I saw Kung Fu Panda the first time, I was like, I'm Po. I remember walking out there going, oh my God, why does Po resonate with me?
Right.
Because he is a big fat panda and loves Kung Fu, and he ended up being one of the Furious Five, and he's really passionate about Kung Fu. And I remember him sitting outside this temple and he couldn't get in, and he screams, I love Kung Fu, like that. That is me with dancing. So
Right.
I was not a typical looking dancer. I didn't have the body of a dancer, but I love dancing, like a lot.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop me, and I became really good at dancing. And then basically that's kind of been my theme throughout my life, is just like, it doesn't matter what you look like. You don't have to be the typical like box cutter, cookie cutter person.
Yeah.
You just got to be passionate.
Yeah.
So I think passion and hard work overrides skill
Oh, for sure.
any day. So
sure.
that's why Po means a lot to me.
I mean, I say that to kids here in my job at Music Industry College. Like, I've seen talented kids come through here who've gone nowhere. And then I see kids who aren't as talented as them who are doing really well because they work their ass off.
Well, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's no such thing as, not really things as luck. You put yourself in a position
Well, yeah.
to take hold of that opportunity, and it looks from the outside that's luck, but you've actually done the hard work.
Well, luck to me is opportunity meeting timing.
Yeah.
And so when you've got the perfect time and the opportunity puts itself there and the hard work, it's like this perfect storm, and that's your luck.
Yeah.
I don't think luck is a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me about you've got Girl Boss, you've got Chop Chop, and then you've got Dance to the Beat.
Yeah.
Tell us about, because I really like hand tats, and I've taken some photos of those. So tell us, Chop Chop.
So Chop Chop, I got a long time ago, like a really long time ago. Funny story with this is the tattoo shop that my friend used to own was very, very well known in Brisbane, West Side, and that's where I get most of
Are they still around?
Yes, but
Because they
it's a
used to be up
change of
in
hand.
West End,
Yeah.
under the bridge of Dornoch Terrace, whatever that road is. Yeah,
I can't remember.
but they're still around. That was
They're
a little
still around.
wooden. So I took a photo of it.
Yeah.
Really cute little store. Took it at night,
Yeah.
and that they'd gone from there. And where are they now?
They're in the valley still, but sort of up where the
Oh, did they take
music
over? Did they take over traditional
tradition.
tattoo?
Yeah,
Okay, there you go, cool.
yeah. But yeah, Matt, he was the owner, and his staff were awesome. And I had one of the girls that used to come and see me for hair. She was tattooing me, and this is crazy. However, I will tell the story. Tattoo shops, a lot of them are bikey run.
Sure. Yeah. They're front.
Yep. But Matt isn't. And luckily, he stood his ground, but there's been there was threats
Sure.
against his life for
Yep.
over a long period of time from a West End bikey
Yep.
gang. Anyway, he was moving from the main street to it's an old perfumery, which
Right.
is where he was.
Yep.
And then the gang, the tough ones, said, you know, when you leave everything there. We're going to take it over and open our own tattoo shop.
Right. Okay.
And he was like, so he took a few things and they threatened him. He fled. And then they did a few things to the new shop, which weren't very tough. I think they did some stupid graffiti on the front.
Yeah.
But Matt had all of these hidden cameras around the shop everywhere.
Right.
We're talking like inside tissue boxes.
Wow,
And it was
okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I went to get tattooed one night and he said, okay, I've got to go. Here's a panic button and a knife. Have fun. And so I had my knuckles tattooed while I could hear bikies, you know, doing laps of West End. But I felt safe because Matt's he's a legend. And my tattooist was like, she said, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I knew there were cameras everywhere.
Okay.
Anyway, they got in trouble and they no longer exist. But these are really cool. And I remember when I first got them, Christina Wilde said, oh my God, you got job stoppers, haha, because she's got them.
Yep.
But I was like, I own my own business.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So I don't care. Like I will never have, this will never be the you can't have a job reason. So they're really old. Girl Boss, I got quite a few years ago again, because I really wanted to fill out that space.
Yeah.
I have, where is it? Oh, they're like skeleton teeth. Because why not, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's getting teeth, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just get skeleton. Or moustache, they had the moustache.
Yeah.
That little thing there is Dad, and that's in Thai, because my dad lives in Thailand.
Yeah.
And there's a big elephant, a small elephant,
I can see
because
that, yeah.
he took me around Thailand. I got these the same time as I got them.
Wow.
I actually got my hands sort of around here tattooed before most of the other things, which is a no-no.
Yeah. Neck,
Yeah.
hands,
And hands, yeah.
face.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times I haven't been allowed in places because I'm tattooed, lots of times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have changed recently though.
I don't know. I don't go out anymore, but I don't go to any establishment that will say no.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why?
I've been refused entry because of my shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Trainers on and some rooftop bar, and my friend, we were just bar hopping.
Yeah.
My wife and I and a couple of groups of friends, and went to this one and got to the door, and my friend Suzanne, she got in and she had like fancy thongs on. You know, like women's
Diamantes.
sandals,
Yeah,
but they're
women's-
basically,
yes.
they're basically thongs. And
Yeah.
the guy goes, oh, you can't come in. I'm like, why not? Get
Yeah.
your shoes. I'm like, you just let her in. She's got thongs on. He's like,
Yeah.
no sneakers, no trainers. I'm like, she's literally got thongs
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Like,
It's. I used to choreograph the Brisbane Broncos cheer squad.
Right.
And I did that for about 7 years. And the second last year I was there, I can't remember what my club it was, but Jade Buddha?
Yeah, Jade Buddha.
Is
Yep.
that still around?
No,
Okay.
they've knocked it all down.
Well, good riddance.
Yeah.
But anyway, they asked us and like this whole squad to come in after a game.
Yeah.
So the girls got all dazzled up, and you know, I don't really get dressed up a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's not really my thing. Anyway, we got there. All the girls got through, and there was 3 girls waiting with me. And the guy said, "Sorry, you can't come in." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like I looked nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't sweaty and you know from a game or anything. And he said, "No, you're tattooed." And I was like, "You asked us to be here." And so the girls really came to my defense, and I turned into a Karen. I was like, "Let me speak to your manager." And anyway, I just said, "Look, you've asked us to be here."
Yeah.
And what was funny is that a lot of the Broncos, or lots of guys, high-profile guys, are covered in tattoos,
Sure.
and they're allowed in there.
Yeah.
But he said I wasn't allowed in there between Friday and Sunday, or something like that. Anyway,
Weirdest rules.
it's ridiculous. But I did eventually get in there. And then, I was the only person tattooed in there.
Yeah.
But it's, you know.
Speaking of the Broncos,
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I had no idea you were buck.
I'm back, yeah.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go, kids. But unmasked.
It is funny. Yeah, so Broncos, that's actually a really cool thing. I really love Broncos Corporation.
Yeah.
I started choreographing the cheer squad, like I said, like years and years ago. I took the girls to the grand final in 2015 and we lost. Anyway, that's a good example of not fitting the mold.
Yeah.
There's not many women at Broncos that look like me, also gay. I mean, there probably are gay people there,
Sure.
but I definitely tick a few boxes that aren't anything to do with the normal, NRL.
Yeah.
But they took a chance on me, and I'd worked there as the manager choreographer for 7 years, and it was such a highlight of my life. I absolutely loved it because I love footy.
Yeah.
But then I retired in 2019, just before COVID, and my career in hairdressing really took off, and I needed more time on that. And then the end of 2022, they came up to me and said, "Hey, we've got a position for you." And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what am I doing? Hair? Like, they said, "Oh, look, we've got a new female mascot." And I was like, "Oh, you're joking." Anyway, they said her name's Winnie, and we want you to evolve the character.
Right.
You could be Winnie. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So
Yeah.
I did Winnie last year. And now another girl has taken over Winnie and I'm Buck.
Wow.
So it's so fun. I have the best time.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when I'm dancing like an idiot around the field, a lot of these people on TikTok think that I am a Islander male.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that because no one knows who's in that suit.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, hey bro, what's up bro? But little do they know there's an almost 42-year-old plus size ginger female hairdresser in a suit as my, moonlight gig.
I'm sure you'd hear and see some stuff.
Oh yeah, and you were talking about a mullet before? Oh my God. You have never seen mullets the way I've seen mullets. And I go up to them and play with their hair all the time. Yeah. But again, no one would guess that someone like me would be in that suit. But I love
That's
it.
cool because I'm a season member, so I'm there every game.
Oh
so
my God.
Now I'm going to be watching you. And I'm up high. I'm in the second tier.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I'm a massive rugby league fan. Actually,
Okay.
I volunteer for Valleys.
Oh wow, my brother used to play for Valleys.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I'm their official volunteer photographer now. So I go and
that's
take photos of the
awesome.
games. And
Yeah.
next week I'm doing headshots of the players. And
That's so
I do their
cool.
team photos now and all their functions and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously I'm covered
Yeah.
in fur. But yeah, it's another thing that just because I'm tattooed, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that I'm going to not get a job.
Yeah.
It's about what's in here, you know?
Sure.
So yeah, amazing corporation to be part of.
Yeah,
I love
great.
them, yeah.
Okay, one last question. Clean skin. None anywhere. I pierced my ear once with a safety pin. That's
wow.
as brave as I've been.
Hardcore.
Yeah, I know.
Was that in the 80s? Did you sterilise it?
No, it was at school in H Block,
Oh, what school did you go to?
Everton Park.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
someone bet me $5 that I wouldn't pierce my ear with a safety pin. So I went down to the H Block toilets, as sanitary as you can get.
Oh my God.
Stuck a safety pin through
But
my
that's
ear.
what girls in art class in my school were doing.
Yeah, and then I took it
100%.
out before I got home because Mum would have flogged me.
Yeah.
So, but I got the $5.
What'd you spend it on? More safety pins.
Who knows? I can't remember. Young and dumb. So yeah, if I was to get a tattoo, what would you recommend, or how should I go about it?
Oh, I think about this because I have a 14-year-old, and there might be a day where she comes to me and says, "I'm going to get my first tattoo." I think because I'm covered and I don't have the skin that she has. She's got great skin and it's tan and, lives on the bloody Gold Coast and all that sort of stuff. I'm covered in freckles. So for me, I'm okay to be covered in tats because otherwise it's freckles and moles and, child of the 80s. I think for someone getting their first tattoo, mine was, it had to be, I used to think that it had to be personal and memorable
Yep.
and very, has to mean meaningful, has to be really meaningful to you. But I think it's bullshit. Because you literally live once.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, they do say that, you know, it's addictive, and it can be. But I think once you get one, you go, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And you will. You probably start to get another one, but you might stop at that.
Yeah.
So I think what a lot of people do is they don't get tattooed because they say, oh, I change my mind too often.
Right.
Trust me, I change my mind as often as I change my underwear.
Yeah.
And that's twice a day,
Yeah.
just so you know. So that's a lot of mind changing. And
Yeah.
if I cared that much about them, I would have them completely lasered and start again.
Yeah.
But I think we put so much pressure on like that first tattoo.
Sure.
You know? I don't know. I just think if you're going to do it, go and do it.
Just get drunk and get it done.
Just go. I mean, I had that done, this one on Hollywood Boulevard at like midnight
Right.
in LA, like a million years ago.
I learnt something about Swifts on the fist. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So apparently,
5 years.
no, it's, apparently it's, if you get them,
Yes.
you've got to be fast with your hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
so-
that mine's a
Because
jail
I had a
tat.
sitter in season 1, Matt, and he's got them on his hands. And then he got them and thought, oh shit, I'm not.
Oh, so he started boxing lessons?
No. But he's like, no. And apparently that's what it means, that you're fast with your fists. And sometimes people will challenge you and go, okay, well, come on.
Well, no one's...
No, not you. I don't think so.
No.
That's a cute one.
Yeah, that
You
was
know.
really well done. He
Yeah.
was really cool, actually. But I was in traffic, and I still remember where it was. I was in Rockley, and my hands were up here on the wheel, and we were at a red light, and this guy next to me had his window down. He goes, and I was like, and he goes, and I was like, yeah, like I don't know what the hell. Anyway, he had both, or one.
Right.
And then I went back to the skate shop, and the guy's like, yeah, you got a jail tat. And I was
Yeah.
like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's like 5 years. I haven't been in jail.
Yeah, they are jail tats, and also
Yeah,
fists.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty,
It's like the
I used to
teardrop,
box.
right? The
Yeah,
teardrop
I probably
murder,
wouldn't get
all
into
that
it.
kind of stuff. Face tats, you got to be crazy.
No,
right?
no. Yeah. I mean,
There's a guy walks around the valley and he's got the Joker smile. Tattooed. Yeah.
oh.
If he wasn't so scary looking, I'd ask him to come in and sit for a session. But
Yeah, you might have to dull him down with some Dexies or something.
yeah, I might
I don't
have
know.
to
But yeah, I wouldn't ask him.
get him early in the morning, really early. In the morning.
It's a no. Recommend no.
Yeah.
0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
Yeah. No. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I think, if I am going to get one, I don't know. People have recommended like that should be the last ever episode. You in a tattoo parlor getting a tattoo.
Yeah. I mean, you wear a lot of hats, right? Mm-hmm. You get one on your scalp.
Scalp tat.
You just get your face.
There's a guy on my list that's got a full crown
Yeah, right.
and it's
yeah.
got a Spanish word. I won't spoil the story,
Okay. Yeah.
but he's on the list and I've been in contact. I've just got to sort of time that.
Yeah.
He's got an incredible story to tell about that tattoo.
Yeah.
It's full crown.
Wow.
He's got them everywhere else as well, but he's just got a full crown. It's like, whoa. One, that would hurt like a
Oh,
bitch.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
two, that's a brave choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, you think the ones that are going to hurt, I didn't find hurt like my elbows and
Yeah.
things like this, but the meatier parts,
Right, okay.
I find hurt.
This one?
That's not fun.
Don't be a
That's
prick.
never fun. Underneath there. Where's
Tender.
Oh, they're my first pair of scissors, by the way.
Okay.
They're my first pair of scissors were green.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah.
You ever think about doing your lip,
I have thought about it, but yeah.
That would hurt, I reckon.
Oh my God, yes.
There's so many nerve endings in
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I like food too much too. Like, I don't want to have to not eat for the day. Like, come on.
there. That's true, because you've got to care for them afterwards. as well.
Yes. Yeah. No, thanks. No, I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Heath.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. So much fun. All right.
How good.